So, Him Chud, as advised by his wife, his teacher, restrains his mind using various methods, and this brings him to experiences that he had not had before, not had earlier. Sometimes he experiences great happiness, sometimes he plunges into sorrow, sometimes he sees light, sometimes he sees darkness. So he goes back to his wife, asking her that what is all this? What is it that I'm now experiencing? And Hemlekha comes up with her reply. She says that effort which was used by you in stopping the external movement of mind is good, approved by all knowers, and very important. Without that effort, that knowledge of self has not been attained by anybody at any time, anywhere. But that effort does not become the cause in its attainment on account of the self having been already always attained. Attainment can happen of a thing not attained, therefore there is no attainment of the self because of selfhood. The restraint or stopping of the mind is also not for the purpose of its attainment. In this matter, consider this example. As something which is covered by darkness is found in this world by means of a lamp and the like, and upon its being discovered, it appears as if it has been gained. Just because now the darkness has been removed, so does one feel on gaining the self after the darkness has been removed. Dear, listen. At the end of the restraint of stopping of the mind, darkness was indeed seen by you. At the beginning of the sight of darkness, your residual nature existed. Always reflect on that residual nature which is the giver of the highest bliss. Here, all persons who have their sights or perceptions directed outwards and who are seized by the grip of that great delusion have been frustrated repeatedly searching for it and did not attain to that. So what is Himlekha saying? She is saying that, Lord, you are excited that you experienced new things. You have come to me talking of great happiness and sorrow. You have come to me talking of light and darkness. You have come to me with an indication as if new things have happened to you, and this probably is making you think that some new attainment is happening. All this is very, very habitual. This happens with all of us. We put in effort just as Hemchud has done. And then the mind experiences new things, surely because the effort has been put. The false is dropped. A lot of mental tendencies have been overcome. So we put all of this together and we think that because we are making effort, there is some progress happening. We think that because we are making effort, the false is going away and the truth is entering our life. Hemchud has also become a victim of this illusion. All the effort that he has put in his sadhana is misleading him. So he has, in an excited way, come to his wife saying that, you see, all these things are happening to me. Surely darkness is going away. Surely I am now seeing the truth. What is all this? Though he is asking what is all this, but somewhere he is already sure, he has already made up his mind that he is moving closer to the truth. In saying that he is moving closer to the truth, or in thinking so that he is moving closer to the truth, he would be making a very fundamental mistake. Hemlekha does not want him to make that mistake. What would be that mistake? That mistake would be that Hemchud would be thinking that the self is somewhere outside of him, localized, divided, fragmented or separated. That Hemchud is something other than the self, and hence the self can be an object of attainment. First of all, she praises his effort. He comes to her. First of all, she praises his effort. She says, well done. You have restrained your mind. You have used all the methods of meditation. You have used Hatha Yoga. You must have used many other methods as well. Congratulations. Your mind is getting purified. But never for a moment should you think that all this is leading you close to the self. The self is not something that you can come close to. Neither is the self something that you can get away from. So kindly do not think that your effort will bring the self to you. She also says that your effort was good. Your effort was the cause of some desired effects. The desired effects were that your mind became capable of separating fact from fancy. That your mind became capable of ridding itself from the grip of habits, patterns, tendencies. That was the positive effect. But limit it to that. Don't overestimate it. Don't attribute the self to your effort. One does not reach the self by making effort. It is as good as saying that the ego is capable of advancing to the self. The entire thing is about surrendering, and that was the first thing that Hemlekha had said. Surrender. Surrender is not the same as attainment. Yes, in surrender you become one with the self. But that can hardly be called attainment. That is dissolution, not attainment. The ego would very agreeably go towards the self if the task is to attain the self. In fact, the ego would really love the challenge. The ego would say, yes, I have been trying to get this and that. I have been running after small things. Now, why not run after the huge thing? Rather, the biggest thing possible. The truth itself. Brahm, the absolute. The ego would relish that challenge. The greater the challenge, the stronger the ego. So if you make attainment your goal, you will feel very proud. You will feel very moral, very pious. You would have seen people who have the goal of attainment. The moment you make attainment your goal, that is the moment you have made your ego stronger than ever. Are you getting it? Surrender is an altogether different dimension. Surrender neither talks the language of attainment nor is arrogant enough to think that it can attain. Surrender sees the falseness of all the attainments. Surrender sees the futility and the incapacity of the attainer itself. Look at them, see how they are opposites. The attaining mind says, I am powerful, I can attain God. In fact, I am so powerful that I can even attain God. The surrendering mind says, I am seeing that whatever I have attained is of no value. This attainer never succeeds. Even the smallest thing that it attains is a failure, is never completely attained. It never really attains anything. Even the smallest thing is never really attained. So how can it attain the biggest? It cannot even hold the smallest. How can it hold the biggest? Attainment is the reinforcement of attainer. Surrender is the death of the attainer. They are opposites. Whereas, seemingly, both of them have the same result, but just on the surface. Both say that we want God. The one who is surrendering wants nothing but God, and the one who is chasing liberation also has no goal other than God. So if you look at them superficially, you will be deceived. You will think that both of them belong to the same domain, that both of them belong to the same type, and that both of them are towards the same end. No, not at all. The end of the attainer is ego itself. The end of surrender is just surrendering. And after surrendering, no one remains any further. The end has already come. Who remains to watch any more endings? The one who used to watch all endings has been surrendered. So surrender ends at surrender itself. Ego never ends. The goal, the end of surrender is surrender. The end of ego is God. Ego will fail because as long as ego is there, obviously there can be no truth, no self. Surrender always succeeds because it doesn't have to chase anything. It only has to annihilate itself. That is within its control. That is always within your control. When you look at your own patterns, your own life, dropping becomes so easy. In fact, there is nothing else that you can do. Once you have seen the falls, there can be no energy left in the falls. Its stickiness gets removed. Its engine is shut down. So, it is incumbent upon Himlekha to insist to her husband that the distance that you have covered is good, my dear, but kindly do not think that your movement will take you to the self. She teaches him the omnipresence of self. She teaches him that it is you who think that you have discovered something. The example that she gives on darkness is quite illustrative. She says, suppose it is darkness, and all darkness is of your own mind. Suppose it is darkness. Then you cannot see that which is already there. That does not mean that it is not there. It is there, but you cannot see. In darkness, you cannot even see the sky, the ever-present sky. Then comes light and you start seeing. So what do you feel? That light has brought all these things to your life. Now the light could have come because of your effort. We do not argue with that. We do not quarrel that. We agree that because of your effort you switched on the light. Because of your ignorance there was darkness. Because of your effort light came. But does that mean that the sky came because of your effort? Remember, when it was dark, you are not able to look at the sky. Light came and you are able to look at the sky. Light might have come due to your effort. But did the sky come due to your effort? That is the point that Himlekha is driving home. Your efforts may help you. Just see that which is always and already there. But your efforts have not brought you closer to Him. There is no question of any attainment there. Light or darkness. Have things really changed? What is there was already and always there. Or has the sky been reduced due to darkness? Or has the sky been augmented by light? Neither reduced by darkness, nor augmented by light. The sky is the sky, just and simply always there. Light and darkness are merely conditions of your mind. They have nothing to do with the sky. Right? Is that clear? In fact, light and darkness make no difference to any aspect of the truth. Clear?